Hey guys, quick update on SOFI stock. We previously spoke on the channel about how there was potential for a bullish breakout out of this parallel channel if you did have a successful massive cup and handle pattern on the daily chart here that could explode to the upside. I think the chance of this happening is rapidly diminishing as price is showing quite bearish signs, and we may be hitting some market turbulence in general due to the Iran conflict and just the technicals on the S&P and the QQQs looking a little bit rough. Certain influencers are going to be telling you that buying SOFI now is a great deal and you're going to be able to buy a great company at a great price. And, as the price drops more and more, you're getting an even better deal. And while that may be true in the very long term, 3-4 years down the line, I think we're entering a bearish regime now for SOFI and that the price will likely be heading to the bottom of this parallel channel once again, as it has done in the past back in 2022. I think we're due for another bear market in financial stocks and in tech stocks in general. That could definitely send you to the bottom of this parallel channel, as I said, around $7.5, something in that region. This for me would be the base case, the most likely case. It is even possible that you could drop below these levels. So I just want to make SOFI investors aware that there is some real danger here, okay? It might be painful to hear that if you have been invested in the stock, but there could certainly be more pain to come. I just want to show you quickly my custom indicator. I built this after studying the cycles and how certain stocks tend to have periods of great outperformance like SOFI has had, followed by periods of woeful underperformance where you can get massive drawdowns. Particularly the more risky the stock is, the higher the potential drawdown. Back here you had a 75%, even more than that from the highs. If you look at from the highs, you were going down 85% on SOFI, which is just massive. Now, even if you assume it will be going down less now that we've hit the parallel channel top again, it may come down a bit less than 85%, but if you're looking at maybe an 80% move, then where does that take you? Oh, takes you right about to the bottom of the channel here again. So even if you're getting diminishing losses here, there is still a great potential for some really terrible losses on SOFI. Now, of course, you're already partway through this down move. That could be another 60% down though. So just keep in mind, while you have already experienced quite a nasty sell-off, there's the potential to be sold off even further. And if you see here, we are flipping now into a bearish regime. If that is to continue and we are to enter a longer bear market on this particular stock, you may be looking at quite a long time until you can recover back to the previous all-time highs and then go beyond. This orange line here also represents a sell signal on the indicator, which you haven't had before on this stock because it's relatively new. But typically when these signals come, it is a sign that momentum is heavily shifting and has not yet completed its shift to the downside. It's very possible that you can have an extended period of underperformance once this signal triggers. You're thinking something in the realm of 6 to 9 months, something like this. So I often get comments on my videos because I do try to highlight both the bullish and bearish cases. And while it is technically possible we could go higher or we could bounce in the short term, this is a very bad sign for the stock. And I would most likely expect continued downward price action on SOFI. So I just want to be clear about that because people often criticize technical analysis. They say, oh, well, the price could go up or down, couldn't it? So that's not very useful information, but we're working with probabilities here. And right now, for me, the probability favors very much so downside movement on SOFI into the future. I would say something like an 80% versus 20% downside versus upside. Of course, you can get bounces in the short to medium term and recovery rallies if you do enter a bear market, but I just want people to be aware of the potential downside here and not to get caught up in the bull posting, the perma bulls that will just tell you to buy the dip, keep buying the dip as it just goes down and down and down, and you lose capital that could otherwise have been allocated more efficiently. So with that being said, I hate to be a doomer or a bear, but sometimes we just got to call it how it is. This stock in particular does have a pattern of these sort of false cup and handle patterns that don't actually end up playing out. It sort of baits everyone in and you think, oh, we might be getting a nice cup and handle pattern here. And then guess what? The stock just goes way back down to the bottom of the channel, and it turns out the stock is more of an oscillator and is not yet ready to break out. But regardless, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe as always for more objective chart analysis, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.